So, greetings everyone. My name is Jean-Pierre, and I'm going to do an interview with a gentleman from Cyprus, Mr. Stelios Charalambous. I hope I pronounce your name correctly.
Correct enough.
Correct enough. Good. I'm very pleased by that comment. And welcome to the interview. And this is an impromptu interview. And the reason I decided to do it is simply because I didn't know about the Regatta of Champions, and I wanted to have more information. And the key person for this regatta is Stelios. May I call you Stelios for the interview?
Yeah, sure.
Great. You can call me JP if you want. So, Stelios is the president of the Famagusta Nautical Club in Limassol, Cyprus, and he's also a board member of the Sailing Federation of Cyprus. And maybe his most important title, I didn't verify it, but it seems to be the most impressive one, is the first optimist sailor in Cyprus back, okay, 1979. So that's amazing, and so I'm very pleased that you agreed to have this interview. And what I would like to cover, and we'll keep it short, but still we have a lot to cover, to talk about the Regatta of Champions, the past editions, the present of the event, also the future of the event, how it is organized, how it is different from other high-level regattas. And we'll talk about also youth sailing in Cyprus, how it is evolving, and maybe about the opportunities for international sailors to go to train, to practice in Cyprus, because it's a little bit warmer there than in most countries of Europe and North America. So it's a very nice place from what I understand. So maybe to start, can you introduce yourself a little bit more extensively than what I just did?
Sure. It's nice having this opportunity to talk to you, Jean-Pierre. Uh, it's an honor for me to talk about sailing with people that are really trying to give something to the sport. And that was also my objective throughout the years. As you have mentioned, yes, I started out with the Optimist class at the age of 9 back in the 70s. And I went through all stages, uh, becoming a coach, a team leader, a member of the board committee of the club, uh, board member of the federation, uh, traveling around watching events either as a sailor or as a coach or as a team leader. I've seen enough. My heart is always into the Optimist class. I have this weird tie with children. Uh, I enjoy giving to them as well as I receive from them. Uh, Throughout the years, I have many thoughts about sailing, but in order to put things in the perspective of the Regatta of Champions, because it's too many decades of information. The Regatta of Champions started out in my head back in 2017.
Okay. Let's talk about the details of the Regatta of Champions a bit later in the interview, if you don't mind. But
Yeah, yeah.
before we talk about, you were a key person, if not the key person, for the Optimist Worlds in 2000. Was it 2018? Um, uh,
Sorry.
the Optimist Worlds in 2018. You were the key person for that event.
Yes, I was the one who placed a bid for the 2018 Worlds in 2016 in Portugal. We were fortunate enough to win the bid. So yes, we did organize the 2018 Optimist Wars in Cyprus. I believe from what I hear, it was a successful championship. But again, even in 2018, in different discussions that we have with members of IOTA and the new back then president, Kevin, I have mentioned to them that, IOTA is organizing all these events around the world. The events are costing thousands of euros to every sailor to participate. But if you are lucky enough, you might win a prize if you are top 20 or if you are top 3 in the fleet, you might get a prize, and that's about it. I think I express my opinion that I believe that the sailing class association, IOTA, that is one of the biggest associations in terms of numbers. And I do believe that if you ask children to sacrifice schools and families and travel around and parents to pay a whole bunch of money, it's about time we start thinking to give something back. That was the one thing that I brought up. And the second thing that I brought up was the fact that nowadays, with technology improving on a daily basis, we tend to forget in the class of optimists that we're dealing with children. And there is a lot of pressure around just for competition, rules, regulations, officials, and it shouldn't be like that. The kids should enjoy what they do before they go into competition. It's always it's nice to be at the top, but for a child, also needs to be in a childhood environment, not just pressure and rules. So those were the two things that I emphasized during the World Championship in 2018. And those were the two things that I said the concept of the Regatta of Champions.
So,
Uh,
so let's talk about that Regatta of Champions.
okay,
How,
Regatta of Champions.
how did the first one come together? You see, how did you put all the pieces of the puzzle together to make it happen?
Well, like I said, I was designing the project since 2017. The concept was to have uh, like a Champions League in soccer, but we do it for optimists. So the basic behind it is to select the top sailors of the year out of the optimist class. And that's based on the difficulty of the championships. We select some sailors from the World Championship, from the European, North America, South America, Africa, Asia. We invite those people to come. You can only come to the Regatta of Champions if you get an invitation. If you don't have an invitation, you cannot get here. And we keep also some wildcards, some invitations in hand, and we organize other events. Within the ROC, we identify few coaches to be the ROC coaching team, which are coaches that have performed at the top over the years. Coaches that have tens of medals at World Championships. Just to mention a couple of names, Happy Fernando Alegre, slews of medals. Simone Ricci, coach of Grandoni, slews of medals. Andonis Rosopoulos, the past 10 years, he pretty much got everything with Switzerland, with Greece, even with Cyprus. So we use these coaches to perform rock clinics, training camps, and we get, let's say, a couple of sailors out of the training camps. In the past couple of years, we also organized the Rock Cosmos, which is an open world event for anybody to participate, and we give some invitations there as well. But what the result of this is being shown throughout the years. The statistics are tremendous. For this year, for example, if we take the World Championship in Argentina in last December, 11 out of the top 11 boys at the Worlds in Argentina all went through the Rock. 4 out of the top 5 girls all went through the Rock. The 5th one was also invited to the Rock, but couldn't make it. So there is, this is a proof, at least to me, that our selections and the method of selection throughout the years is a correct one. We follow pretty much every sailor that is participating at the Rock. We follow them in different regattas. We get a lot of feedback from parents, from coaches that, my child came to the clinic and a week later he won the Polish championship. Or right now I got the only sailor participated at this year's Rock from Mexico, Jorge Munoz. He won the second leg of the championship in Mexico like 5 days ago. And this is feedback that we get on a daily basis. So to us, it proves that the process of selecting is pretty correct. There is always space to improve, and that's another key element of the Rock. And we try to listen to suggestions from coaches, from officials, from anyone that has any knowledge in the optimist class. Some of them we adopt, some of them we adopt partially, but that's another very key element of the Rock. We listen and we change to improve, year in and year out. So once we do the selection, believe me, the most difficult part is to locate the sailor, his coach, get the information of the sailor's parents in order to communicate with them, to send a personal invitation. It's not an easy process. Every sailor gets 7 days to respond. If he turns down, then the invitation goes to the next one, and it's a long process. But to come to your question, in 2022 on the inaugural Regatta of Champions, a week before the start, I was so afraid that I would, a week before, I would start remembering all the things that I forgot. But for some reason, we haven't forgotten anything of importance to affect the regatta. And I was impressed at the opening ceremony that the event was bigger than ever without even getting into the water. Let's go to the changes now of the rock. The rock has
I may ask you a practical question because it's always quite, to get a kid who is 13, 14 years old to travel internationally is always a challenge where they're typically traveling, let's say if it's from South America, for example, it's a huge travel, were they typically with their parents or with a coach or traveling alone? What was the story there?
Yes, it is difficult, and it's also one of our projects.
Okay.
In 2024, we organized Rock Cosmos because we didn't have a world championship at the right time to make a selection. 2024, we were supposed to select the top 10 sailors from the world championship, but the world championship was in December and the Rock was in November. So to overcome this hurdle, that was when we made the decision to organize the Rock Cosmos. And we did that in Greece. And we made the selection through the Rock Cosmos. And at the Cosmos event, every top sailor was there as well. The level was too high. It was the first ever. It was new format. We managed to get the sailors out of that fleet. Since we received the feedback about that regatta, because it's also a unique regatta, we decided to keep it going. And our objective is to organize Cosmos Regatta, at least one in either North or South America. It's going to call Rock Cosmos All American. Both of continents will be participating. And we're also working for a venue in Asia to do the Rock Cosmos Asia. So our objectives for 27 is to have Rock Cosmos Asia, Rock Cosmos All American, and Rock Cosmos Europe.
Wow.
And we will make the majority of our selection from those events instead of the Continentals event of IOTA.
If I may ask, what is the format? You mentioned that it was a different.
Yes. We didn't invent anything. Like I said at the very beginning, I've been traveling around. I've been around many Optimus events. I see the good things, which I take, and I see some really bad things that people refuse to change. So I change it. So the format. First of all, is a pure one design event. At the Rock, you're not allowed to bring any equipment with you.
Including the sail.
We customize all sails with gold numbers, the flag of the sailor, and the name of the sailor. All sails are identical, and the same goes with all boats, foils, spars, etc. Everything is identical. And sailors cannot change. All boats are measured prior to the event.
Are these boats from the club, from the World Championship, or where do the boats come from?
No. Another important thing of the Rock is that it's built on many partnerships.
Okay.
We have New Blue that provides 47 new boats every year.
Wow.
for this event.
Okay,
We have
in,
J Sail.
the other events are also everybody has the same hull.
Everything is the same. We do lottery. You get your boat number, and then you get your sail that already has your name on it and your flag on it.
You would give a heart attack to Olympic sailors if you would propose that, huh?
Yes. So we have New Blue providing all hulls. We have DSK providing brand new foils. We have J-Sail providing all customized sails. And the sails are all this equipment that I'm mentioning to you nowadays have become Rock Edition J-Sail, Rock Edition DSK foils. So we're going into branding as well.
But if I may ask you, because I'm so familiar with how sensitive the weight of the sailor is, and how you still have sailors of different weights that are competing. Did you get any complaints from the lighter
No,
sailors about
no, no, no.
everybody was
I
coping
give them
with?
top class equipment. This year we introduce a J-Sail Rock Edition that is never been seen before. There is no other design like that in the market.
Do you have an athlete kind of body weight that is targeted, like 50 kilos or something like that?
No, no.
Some sails are tailored for sailors on the heavy side. Some sails are
Yeah, the first two rock were won by Alberto Avanzini, who was one of the heaviest sailors in light winds. He still won
okay.
back to back.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
So partnerships are very important. OptiParts, Wind Design, Optimax, Magic Marine, all these J-Sail, DSK, New Blue, these are the people which we really appreciate and respect because they believed when the rock was an idea.
Okay.
And being around sailing, you know what it costs for 50 sails customized to be provided just for one event. You know what it costs for 50 sets of DSK foils to be provided to be used brand new for just one event.
They still have a value.
So
So
we appreciate our partners.
you don't give them away. You keep them for the next year, or you sell them afterwards. What is the story there?
No, the deal is that after the event, anybody wants to buy, they can buy. They do the transactions directly with the manufacturers, and everything that is left is returned back to the manufacturer. So every year you get brand new stuff.
That's amazing, because
Uh,
people could also keep them. Huh? If you have everybody with a 4-year-old Earl, it's okay. Huh? It's still have
you give every sailor pretty much a 5,000 euro boat, customized
Mhm.
just for a week.
Wow.
So let's go to the format now.
Yes, please.
This proves that the Rock is a truly one design event. And we go into the format. It's funny because 3-4 weeks ago, World Sailing came out setting us an objective to try to run short races during the next Olympics.
Hmm. Absolutely.
This is something that the Rock is doing since the inception.
All right.
We ran 28-minute races. You have a fleet of 45 sailors, top sailors. You have a 28 to 30-minute max races. The entire fleet is like this throughout the course. One mistake drops you back 20 positions. One good move might take you up front 20 positions. Besides the fact that our races are short, we use 5 different courses.
Okay.
We do inner loop, outer loop, windward, leeward, and OptiGP. It's a version of the Sail GP, modified for Optis, reaching start, either port or starboard.
That's interesting. The reaching start. How does it work, the reaching start?
You should watch some videos on our website. It's the most amazing start ever seen in Optis. Coaches and sailors, when they first hear OptiGP, they go, wow, we don't want this, we don't know this. Nowadays, they are all asking for GP.
So you are able to police the line?
Yes,
Yeah.
there is a way.
How do you do? You
Yes.
have electronics to
Yeah.
get the line.
The thing is that another important key of the format is the fact that these courses that I mentioned to you, we can change them within the day. So since we're running short races, sailors might run 5, maximum 6 races per day.
That's good, yeah.
So you might start out and run 2 races inner loop, and then you might run another 2 races GP, and then you might do a race windward, leeward, and then you might do a race outer loop.
But it's only the GP race that has a reaching start.
Yes. The other ones are normal, are Olympic courses. Inner loop, outer loop is what the lasers are doing. Windward, leeward is the simplest format of sailing. GP is something that we put into the circle. So having all that, we do have umpiring on the water.
Okay. How many
So that's how
jury people you have to police 40 boats there?
45 boats, you have 3 umpires. Again, like we have our raw coaching team.
But you can
We
still
also,
protest after the race or not? My question is, can the sailors protest after the race if there is something, or the umpiring is complete?
they can protest, but for the past 4 years, nobody did. It's just the umpires after them, and they are giving them penalties on the water.
Okay.
And like I said, like we have our official team for the rock, we have the coaching team for the rock, we also have our umpiring team for the rock, which we use on every rock in order to expand the experience, since it is such a very unique event. So this is the main differences in the format: the multiple courses, the short races, the one design, the umpiring on the water. These are the important stuff. In a similar way, we run all of our events. So if we do a clinic during the training camp, we also want to run all courses. We also want to run races. They will be short races, just like the rock. The only difference is in Cosmos, because we have 300 boats, we cannot do GP and put 80 boats to start reaching. So we skip the GP for Cosmos, but all the other courses are included. The short races, we run inner loop an outer loop out on the course. So you don't need 3 hours to do one race like you do currently at the Worlds and Europeans and all this. We don't use the trapezoid that IOTA uses. So we start one fleet going out there, another fleet going in there, another fleet going out there. Pretty much they all finish together. You move on to the next race. In the first year in Greece, the very first day we started out on scheduled time of the races at 1 o'clock, lunchtime. We have 3 fleets of 84 sailors each fleet. Started at 1, at 3:35, all 3 fleets finished 4 races each.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that is time well
So
spent. But how is the event typically? You have a few days for training, and then how many days is the regatta itself?
in all rock events are 1 week. You start out registration, second day is registration practice race, then you have 5 consecutive days of racing.
Right.
Another important thing at the Rock is that since we run 5 races a day, that means the total is 25 races for the regatta.
You have drops.
You drop every 5. Every 5 races, you drop 1.
Okay, so you can drop 4, 5 races in the total.
Like this year that we did all 25 races, imagine going on the last race on a very competitive fleet that everybody is together. And at the end of the last race, you're going to drop a race. Everything goes like this.
But you don't have the medal race like they have for the Olympics.
No,
Have you thought
no.
about it, or is it something that you
No, because I'm working with a fleet of 45. Why should I do a meta race? After 25 races, why should I do a meta race?
just asking? You see, at the Olympics,
The,
about 40
the
boats,
thing that is always in my head
very very small fleet at the end.
is instead of doing a meta race, I would rather do a match race. Get the top 12 and do a match race.
Oh, but that's a different type of skills completely, and the
Well, but
optimism.
that is what the rock is all about, is working outside the box. And where is the money in sailing today? If you want to become a professional sailor, where is the money today?
I don't know.
Any event out there is match race. All the events that have money out there is match race.
Sail GP is not much race.
Okay, LGP is not. It's just a close. It's a closed circuit though with closed teams.
Okay.
You and I cannot make a team now and go and get in a GP.
Oh, if you have, I think so. But they were looking for teams in the beginning. No, I think they are reaching a bit.
All right, we'll go into the rest of the rock now.
Okay, sorry.
Team racing. First of all, the initial thought of the rock was to do. You know that the rock is giving out academic scholarships, right?
Please explain, because I read about it, but I don't know the details at all.
Okay. The 45 sailors competing at the rock, the top 12 get academic scholarship awards,
Nice.
which is a sum of 40,000 euros, which are being spread to the top 12 sailors and to the top 3 coaches.
Wow.
So the number 1 winner gets 8,000 euros. What IOTA is accusing us and they feel the need to advertise that, is that they don't support The Rock because it gives out money in any form to sailors and coaches. We don't give any money to anybody. The person that gets a money award, the parents have to provide the organization with proof of academic expenses in order for the funds to be released into the parents' account. And we're very proud of that. Because remember at the beginning of our conversation, I told you about my discussion I had with IOTA back in 2018, telling them you cannot ask the children to pay 4,000 or 5,000 euros to come to your events and get nothing back. So we recognize the sacrifices that the child does to be out of school, to be out of childhood, to travel around all year round. We recognize the parents' sacrifices to pay for that. Sailing is not a cheap sport. And that's where we want to contribute and give something back.
So who is we? Do you get sponsors?
Sorry?
Are you getting sponsors?
We do have a title sponsor that provides that amount of money.
Wow.
In addition to that, we also recognize what we as a parents demand today from a coach. Because nowadays, in order to become an elite sailor or athlete in any sport, your coach has to be an instructor in sailing. It also has to be like second parent because you spend too many hours with him. It has to be a mentor, an educator, a psychologist, and everything else in order to raise a child, 12, 13 years old, in a proper way to be good in academics and become also an elite athlete. So coaches, I do not personally believe that coaches are rewarded for what they give to a child. Remember what I told IOTA, we tend to forget that we have to deal with children. In any of these events, they're all kids. And every child has its own issues. Some of them are not mature enough. Some of them are a little bit more crazy than others. Some of them are missing their parents. Some of them are 1,000 reasons. And with all this, the coach has to deal with it. So The Rock recognizes the sacrifices of the sailors, the sacrifices of the parents, and the work that the coaches are putting in order to make elite athletes. That's why at The Rock, in any award ceremony, you will never see a podium with sailors. On the podium, you get sailor and coach. Any prize that the sailor is getting, the coach is getting. There is no child that became the best of the world without coach. And that's in any sport. Every athlete has a coach. And it's a shame that we don't even mention their names in any sport. Well, in my closing ceremonies, in my award ceremonies, every athlete will come up with his coach. We will call the coach with his name, the sailor with his name, and they will get the same prize award. Another difference in format of the rock. Awards are not just for sailors.
That's very interesting. Very interesting. And you know what I know. I give you an example. I was talking to a gentleman from Nova Scotia, and he explained that maybe 10 years ago, they said, okay, we are going to up the level of optimist sailing in Nova Scotia, a province of Canada. And basically, it's a club in Halifax, and they decided to bring coaches from Argentina. And why? Because there are extremely few qualified coaches, top level optimist coaches. There are barely any in Canada, or there were barely any, and the same in the US. And for some reason, the Argentinians train good coaches. And so you had several coaches from Argentina ending up working in Canada.
And right now you have Federico Donzino.
Yeah, for example. But it's crazy because my experience there as an opti dad, but I can tell you, I started to know the opti pretty well. There are so many variables, also many variables beyond the knowledge, the potential knowledge of a kid about tuning, choosing the sail, choosing the spars, choosing the blades, choosing the type of hull. Everything is variable. And so the only piece of advice you can get, and these are secrets, trade secrets, is to get quality coaching. So you get advice about what to purchase, what to get. So at the end, you have a competitive boat. That is for regattas outside. You see the format you have, and even for the worlds at the Opti Worlds, you have one hull usually. But I heard that there were some worlds where they had two brands, and obviously one of the brand was faster than the other, but that was not recognized. They were both compliant, but they were different. But I mean, the depth of knowledge of a coach, of an opti coach, is crazy. And when you go afterwards, we'll talk about the laser afterwards, or the Ilka. In the Ilka, the boat is much simpler in a sense, you see, than the opti. But
that is why it's important to remember that we're dealing with children.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you ask 11-year-old, what is the age of the new world champion of the Opti? Is it 13 or something like that?
Nicolas Papas.
It's crazy. It's crazy to win at the age.
And Nicolas Papas is raising a completely different set of equipment at the Worlds. And then and so is Manuel Braganca. But then when they came to the rock, they all got identical stuff. They still were 1-2. I have philosophies regarding the equipments, but I'm not going to expand into that, trying to cover the Regatta of Champions. The Regatta of Champions have stood out there on its own. It's so well structured that every effort to bring it down, it actually gave us more boost. People clearly can identify the quality of the organization, the high level of competition, and they are also able to understand that we listen to them. Every event we do here at the Rock during the week of competition, we include everybody. Coaches, officials, parents, sailors, everybody stays at the same hotel venue. Every party we organize, parents, officials, everybody is invited. The instructions that everybody have in terms of officiating is to be open, happy face, talk to the kids, talk to the coaches, explain to them why this, why that, sit down on a table, have a drink and chat. Every time we gather together for the rock, believe it or not, there are 120, 130 people, but they all become like a family. And in one of the interviews that I sent to you, you will hear me saying that every time an event is over, usually you feel relieved and happy that you managed to conclude the event. Personally, I feel sad because that bonding that we build up within a week is going to end. Beyond everything that we do in terms of sailing and competition and format, etc., we do work together with manufacturers to develop new equipment. The past couple of years, we've been working with Optipar to create a new boom vang system for Optis, similar to the IRCA's boom vang, Harken boom vang. And hopefully next year we will run the rock with such a boom vang system. We have it already tested for 2 years. We identified all the little things. We're going to do the final corrections and we will use that. We work with J Sales to have a brand new sail, which we use in this year's rock. It's still under testing. We try to improve things and we try to help people. There are some of our partners that are involved in professional sailing. They get our sails and they give them out to underdeveloped countries and clubs in order to help improve sailing. Jay Sail and myself, we got some sails from the Rock 2023, and we send them to Bahamas to a philanthropic club, make them sailors to help them a little bit with equipment.
Okay.
We do a lot of things. We follow sailors around the world. We try to help to improve the sport. We change little things every time. Every single of our events, even if you go to a training camp that we do, you're going to think that you are at the World Championship. That's the environment with shops and things and that. We made it pretty well up until now. Every year we feel bigger and bigger. And that is why this year we're introducing Il Cafor.